Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm sharing a story that's incredibly personal, one I've held close for a long time. It starts with a sentence I never thought I'd utter. I never thought the man I trusted most would be the one to destroy me. But this isn't just a story about betrayal, it's about picking up the pieces, finding strength in silence, and ultimately, about rediscovering myself after losing everything. If you've ever loved someone who lied to your face, who made you question your reality, or if you're just looking for a little proof that healing is possible, then this story is definitely for you. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, because this is Clara's journey. For 5 incredible, seemingly perfect years, my life looked like a dream. A beautiful home, a stable job I genuinely enjoyed, and a husband who, by all appearances, adored me. Every single morning, without fail, he'd kiss my forehead and whisper those comforting words, "You're my everything." They were rituals. Those small gestures, building blocks of what I believed was a rock-solid foundation. Our weekends were filled with laughter, our evenings with shared stories. We had plans, dreams, a whole future mapped out together. It felt like I had won the relationship lottery, and I genuinely believed he was my soulmate, my best friend, the person who understood me better than anyone else. I was truly, deeply happy. But as time went on, slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, I started noticing small, unsettling changes. They were tiny cracks in the perfect facade. Late-night calls that he'd rush to answer in another room, speaking in hushed tones. Business trips that suddenly became more frequent, stretching longer than usual, with explanations that felt flimsy. Somehow, he'd come back distant, preoccupied. Then, there was the physical distance, that kind you can feel even when they're sitting right next to you on the couch, watching TV, their hand just inches from yours, but miles away in spirit. The warmth I'd grown accustomed to started to cool, replaced by an unfamiliar chill. I tried to rationalize it, tell myself he was stressed, busy with work, maybe just tired. But a persistent nagging feeling in my gut whispered otherwise. One particular night, the air in our home felt heavy, thick with unspoken things. We'd had a quiet dinner, and he was in the shower. His phone, which he usually kept glued to his side, buzzed loudly on the coffee table. Normally, I would have just ignored it, respected his privacy, gone about my evening. But that night, something was different. A powerful, undeniable instinct, a primal urge I couldn't ignore, pulled me towards it. My heart pounded in my chest as I reached for it, my fingers trembling slightly. I wish I hadn't. I really, truly wish I hadn't. There it was, glaring up at me from the screen, a new message notification from someone named Alyssa, and the message itself, it punched the air right out of my lungs. "Can't wait to see you again tonight. Same place." My hands started to tremble uncontrollably. My stomach lurched, dropping like a stone. Every single part of me, every fiber of my being, wanted to scream, to rage, to throw the phone across the room. But I couldn't. I just stood there, frozen in time. The glowing screen, a cruel mirror reflecting the shattering of my world. Because, in that single gut-wrenching moment, everything I believed about my marriage, everything I thought I knew about my life, collapsed into a pile of ashes. The silence that followed was deafening. My mind raced, reeling from the shock. But a strange calm also settled over me. I didn't confront him that night. When he walked out of the bathroom, fresh from his shower, I somehow managed to put on a smile. I cooked dinner, just like any other night. I even laughed at his fabricated stories about his day, the ones that now felt like a cruel joke. But inside, behind that carefully constructed facade, I wasn't just standing there, I was planning how to rebuild my life without him in it, piece by agonizing piece. This wasn't about anger anymore, it was about survival, about reclaiming my narrative. The next morning, I woke up with a steely resolve. The shock had worn off, replaced by a cold, calculating determination. I started methodically gathering evidence, saving every suspicious message I could find, every confusing receipt, every tiny clue that had previously seemed insignificant. Kamel, I opened a separate email account, a new digital safe space for what I was building. I wanted truth, pure and unadulterated truth, not revenge, not a fight. But a wise part of me also knew, deep down, that sometimes the truth itself could be its own powerful form of revenge. It was a silent rebellion, a quiet reclaiming of power. Over the next few weeks, I played the part perfectly. I pretended everything was fine, acted as if nothing had changed, maintaining the illusion of our happy marriage. But behind the scenes, my life was a whirlwind of quiet activity. I meticulously moved my savings into my own private account, securing my financial independence. I spent my lunch breaks discreetly searching for a new apartment, a place where I could start fresh, a sanctuary. I even had a quiet conversation with my boss, hinting that I might need some time off soon, laying the groundwork for my departure. Each step was carefully considered, each action deliberate, moving me closer to my eventual escape. Then, the day finally came. He announced another one of his business trips. As he walked out the door, suitcase in hand, I offered him a calm goodbye kiss. The moment he was gone, I didn't hesitate. I packed my own things, every single item that belonged to me, every memory I wanted to keep, every piece of my life. I loaded up my car, made sure the apartment was empty of my presence, and then I walked out. No screaming, no tears, no dramatic confrontation. Just silence. Net silence, in its profound emptiness, was louder, more impactful than any fight we had ever had. It was the sound of a door closing, not just on a relationship, but on a chapter of my life. Months passed, and life began to bloom again. I found a lovely new apartment, made it my own, filled it with light and new memories. I reconnected with old friends, rediscovered hobbies I'd long neglected, and started embracing my independence with a newfound joy. I was rebuilding, brick by brick, and finding an unexpected strength in solitude. Then, one day, completely out of the blue, I saw him again. He looked smaller, not in size, but in spirit, in presence. The bravado he once carried was gone, replaced by a weariness that settled deep in his eyes. He confessed that his Alyssa had eventually left him to karma, it seemed had already done its job. He looked at me, a flicker of something I couldn't quite decipher in his gaze, and said, "You look happy, Clara." I simply smiled, a genuine, radiant smile that reached my eyes, and replied, "I am," because happiness, I realized then, wasn't about getting even, about seeing him suffer. It was about getting free. It was about severing the ties that bound me to a false reality and embracing the truth of my own resilience. Betrayal, without a doubt, broke me in ways I never thought possible. It shattered my trust, distorted my perception of love, and left me feeling lost. But in that breaking, something incredible happened. It also rebuilt me, team. It forced me to look inwards, to find strength I didn't know I possessed, and to redefine what true happiness meant for myself. If you've ever been through heartbreak, if you've felt the sting of a lie, remember this: walking away, choosing your peace, and focusing on your own healing is sometimes the strongest revenge of all. It's not about them. It's about you and your incredible capacity to rise. So, I'd love to hear from you. What would you have done if you were in my place? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, if it offered you a glimmer of hope, or just a moment of understanding, please consider giving this video a like, and subscribe to the channel for more true stories of strength, karma, and healing. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.